Bacteria throwing a party in your mouth right now. I want you to genuinely think about this for a second. Because look, even if you diligently brushed your teeth this morning, doing exactly what you were taught, the reality is that right now, bacteria are throwing a massive, all-out party in your mouth. And honestly, the wildest part, they are physically chewing on your teeth in the exact same way you chewed your dinner last night. You just don't feel it happening. Section 1. The invisible mouth party. Let's take a closer look at this invisible threat that's living in your mouth every single day. 700. That is a massive number. There are over 700 species of bacteria hanging out in your mouth right now. Your mouth is essentially the gateway to your body's entire internal ecosystem. Now sure, some of those bacteria are actually beneficial, but a lot of them are just pathogenic troublemakers. They hang around feeding on the microscopic food particles left between your teeth, and as they feast, they rapidly multiply and produce this highly destructive acid in the process. And listen, this isn't just a dental issue, it's a full body health issue. Research actually shows that when your gums get swollen and bleed, those troublemaking bacteria don't just stay in your mouth. They can penetrate your tissue, enter your bloodstream, and travel straight to your heart. Once there, they can cause severe inflammation and literally contribute to clogged arteries. Someone could be aggressively treating their blood pressure or cholesterol, completely unaware that the bacteria throwing a party in their mouth is actually compounding the whole problem. Section 2, the saliva security guard. So now that we know what these bacteria are up to, let's look at your natural defense system. And more importantly, what happens when it suddenly clocks out? To really understand the defense, we've got to understand the target, which is your enamel. Think of this hard, shiny outer layer exactly like the paint on a car. As long as that paint is completely intact, the metal underneath is perfectly safe from the rain, right? But the concentrated acid from those party-going bacteria constantly attacks your enamel. Once that biological paint starts to peel, you're essentially opening the door to permanent decay and rot from the inside out. Thankfully, you have an absolutely incredible natural defense mechanism. Your saliva. It acts exactly like a patrolling security guard. All throughout the day, while you're just going about your business, this liquid security guard is constantly flowing through your mouth, actively washing away those troublemaking bacteria and chemically neutralizing all those destructive acids. But here is where the mechanical failure starts. As you go through your day, you're essentially setting up an all-you-can-eat daytime buffet for these microbes. Think about everything you might eat. Jollof rice, shredded pieces of meat, biscuits, maybe some Zobo, or that puff puff a colleague brought into the office. All of these foods leave highly fermentable sugar, starch, and tiny particles hiding in the microscopic gaps between your teeth. You are unwittingly stocking a limitless pantry for bacteria to play a very dangerous game of hide and seek. And this timeline right here is what changes everything. During the day, your saliva is actively flowing. But when you go to sleep, your salivary glands go to sleep too. You are literally sending your primary security guard home for the night. This gives the bacteria an undisputed 5 to 8 hour night shift. With practically no saliva to flush them away, they relentlessly feast on that daytime buffet, multiplying exponentially, producing acid at maximum output, and calcifying into that white, sticky biofilm we all know as plaque. Section 3, morning versus night brushing. Okay, so with the security guard fast asleep on the job every single night, let's finally settle the endless debate. Is it enough to just brush in the morning, or should you really only brush at night? Well, here's why both are absolutely non-negotiable. Brushing in the morning is crucial because it clears out that massive bacteria army that aggressively multiplied overnight while your security guard was away. Plus, it coats your teeth in a protective shield right before you eat your acidic breakfast. But brushing at night, that is entirely mandatory to remove all that daytime food debris, the Jolliflof, the biscuits, the puff puff, before the bacteria's 8 hour low saliva night shift even begins. If you skip night brushing, you are quite literally preparing a banquet for bacteria and leaving them to destroy your teeth totally uninterrupted. Section 4. Choosing your weapons. Having firmly established exactly when we need to fight, let's look at your arsenal and what you're actually using to combat these bacteria. Let's be real and address some common habits that are frankly biologically ineffective. Mixing salt with water might neutralize some bacteria for a minute, but it does absolutely nothing to mechanically remove that sticky, calcified plaque. And using your finger to rub toothpaste around, your finger physically cannot reach the microscopic gaps between your teeth where these bacteria thrive. It's literally like trying to sweep a filthy house with your bare hands instead of a broom. You're just randomly scattering the dirt around without actually cleaning a single thing. And what about a traditional chewing stick? Research extensively shows our ancestors used them, and yes, they definitely possess great natural antimicrobial properties, but they have major mechanical flaws. A chewing stick cannot physically reach all the complex curved surfaces of your teeth, it completely misses the tight gaps, and most importantly, it entirely lacks the single most critical chemical ingredient your teeth require to rebuild. For that, you absolutely need the bristles of a proper toothbrush paired with the correct toothpaste. And that critical missing ingredient, it's fluoride. Think about it this way. You wouldn't try to effectively wash heavily soiled clothes by just soaking them in plain water, right? You need actual soap to break down the grime. Well, fluoride is the chemical soap for your teeth. It actively remineralizes your hard enamel and strengthens it on a microscopic level, acting like an impenetrable protective fence around your teeth. If your toothpaste doesn't have fluoride, you're essentially just washing your mouth with useless minty foam. And foam alone is not going to reverse acid damage. Now, you might see a lot of trendy additions on the market these days, like charcoal or lemon essence. And hey, while these are great bonus ingredients, like charcoal is fantastic for physically buffing away surface stains from tea, coffee, or cola nut, you have to remember that fluoride remains the non-negotiable priority here. You must rigorously check the box to ensure fluoride is the active ingredient that is actively protecting your enamel. Section 5, no spare parts. Let's wrap up this explainer with a sobering anatomical truth we all really need to internalize. This phrase hits incredibly hard. Your teeth do not have spare parts. As a biological adult, the teeth anchored in your jaw right now are the absolute only natural ones you will ever get until you leave this world. You cannot naturally regenerate a second set. If you lose them to this invisible 24-hour bacteria party because of poor habits, well, the only replacements biologically available to you are synthetic, fake ones. So, ignorance is no longer an excuse. You now understand exactly how the bacteria operate, why your saliva desperately needs help at night, and what tools actually work on a scientific level. Which brings me to a final vital question. Who in your life needs to hear this explainer? We all have that one friend or family member who only brushes once a day, or insists on using a finger or a chewing stick without fluoride. Send them a link to this explainer right now and shut down the bacteria party. Because seriously, if 700 species of bacteria are quietly shaping your health from inside your mouth, you really have to wonder what other invisible ecosystems are operating inside your body right now.